Yeah, last night, I think I lost my patience. Last night, I got high as the expectations, and I came to a realization that when it comes to the Vancouver Canucks and their team, yeah, I know, great segue. Very nice. But when it comes to the Canucks, even though there are a lot of things that we have been bugged about, we've been thinking about the struggling power play. We've been talking about some of the players that haven't shown up. I was this close to dropping Quinn Hughes in my fantasy league this week because the guy just did not produce. We'd been talking about the consistency, we've been talking about the lackadaisical efforts, but then after the win last night against Boston, it kind of serves as a wake-up call to this fan base that sometimes we just gotta get back in the driver's seat and take things over. Now, what am I talking about? Well, let's talk about the biggest rumor that had popped up on yesterday's intermission segment with Elliotte Friedman and the Saturday night headlines. You already know from the title, from the thumbnail, this was the biggest deal that everybody was talking about in the midst of the Vancouver Canucks trying to come back from being down 2-0 because, hey, they were down 2-0, the team was going to lose their 5th game in a row, and Canucks fans, as doomer as we can be, we went out there and started talking about trades. Because during Friedman's intermission segment, he said that teams are calling the Vancouver Canucks about Elias Pettersson since there's no news on an extension and how that's progressing. The Canucks, though, are telling teams that they are trying to sign him. And that's it. That's the tweet. But as you can see, this post by NHL Watcher had 175,000 views, 200 likes, a bunch of retweets, and a bunch of replies. This was a pretty big deal, and a lot of Canucks Nation was kind of freaking out a little bit. Oh my goodness, Pettersson is in trade talks, that's crazy, like, are they going to trade him before the deadline? They're not going to re-sign him, Pettersson's going to leave, like, oh no, the sky is falling. And then you had the other people saying, wait a minute, but that's okay, because Pettersson's not that good, and he's going to get so much money, and he's worth $12 million, so why would they even try to think about making a signing like that? There are a lot of perspectives about this, and as we had talked about in the video the other day, with Elias Pettersson's camp reportedly being really pissed off that the $12 million contract offer idea was put in the forefront, it kind of gets you thinking as to where else this Vancouver Canucks team is going to go with these Pettersson talks, because if Pettersson is being asked about, which I don't doubt the validity, like, that entire thing makes sense, I would understand why teams would ask about Pettersson, then you kind of have to wonder what the thought process is for a team that's calling in the first place, because I'm kind of thinking about it like this. Of course, Rutherford and Alvin, if they get asked about Petey, they're probably going to say, yeah, we're not trading that guy. He's our guy. We'll keep him around. At least we'll try to keep him around because we'll try to sign him, and hopefully he'll be receptive to that and willing to engage with us. But if there are teams calling up Rutherford and Alvin and saying, yeah, you know, Pettersson, what's he going for? Is he available? My mind immediately jumps to, okay, if a team's interested in Petey, what would they want to give up? Because we know that Elias Pettersson, for all the faults and for all the times he falls down and for all the disappointing plays where he loses the puck or when he doesn't really show that X factor, for all the times that we are frustrated with Pettersson, which is only because we know he can be a lot better than what he's shown off the past few weeks, for all that disappointment, we know that Pettersson is extraordinarily valuable. And even if there are fans like me that express very consistent disappointment with the way that he plays, there still is a huge profile for what that potential could be. Now, whether or not you think that's the same potential that would allow him to get signed for $12 million AAV for 8 years and have that be an appropriate contract, that's up to you. But there's no doubt in my mind if a team was thinking about trading for Elias Pettersson, there's probably going to be a pretty big package in return. Now, you could debate as to whether or not that would actually be worth it. I mean, I've been seeing a ton of conversations on Canucks Twitter especially saying, hey, if you're trading Pettersson away, you're losing the trade. Does not matter what you're getting in return, because any sort of a return that would actually be worth it would not be viable to get in some sort of a move. You're not getting a superstar player like a Connor Bedard or a Jack Hughes for Elias Pettersson. You're getting scraps. You're getting extra prospects and extra picks and extra players, and all these things combined could be seen as a package that would be acceptable, but none of these assets are going to be as good as Elias Pettersson could be. And no matter how good the collective value of 5 different things is, one Elias Pettersson is most likely more valuable than all those things. It's just the way the market works. You're never going to get equal value when trading away a star player, right? The only time that actually does happen is in the rare circumstances where in a few years you see a player get traded and he ends up fizzling out, but the package that they got in return is like amazing, like Josh Norris for the San Jose Sharks with all those other things for Erik Karlsson back in the day. So for Elias Pettersson, there's a lot going here that I think makes it an interesting conversation, because there are people that would very much discredit the idea of a PD trade. Hey, you're trading away your best forward. Why would you do that? In fact, you could very well debate, and I'd probably make the argument that JT Miller has been the Canucks' best forward the past few weeks. Elias Pettersson has not been that guy. In fact, there are some other perspectives that I thought were interesting to bring up as well, like this one from Buck Foston, just a little bit after the Friedman intermission. I don't think Rutherford's going to stay quiet for too long if he truly starts to feel that Elias Pettersson is not coming back. And, of course, this is just a speculative kind of idea. I mean, Buck Foston tweets about a lot of things Vancouver-related, but it is an interesting thought to bring up that if there is some sort of uncertainty and it starts to boil over, let's say, back at the beginning of the season we heard, oh yeah, he's not gonna sign until the summer. He wants to wait. Okay, we'll think about that. We'll sit on that for the next 8 months. With that all going down, I start to wonder, what exactly is the Vancouver Canucks' capacity for risk tolerance here? Because it's not like Pettersson's a UFA, he's not going to yeet off into free agency and sign elsewhere like Johnny Gaudreau did, for example, but if Pettersson straight up just is not willing to commit to Vancouver, which is a hypothetical you have to consider, you can't say it's impossible, you have to start thinking, okay, that Matthew Tkachuk route. Is that a possibility here? And I think for now, because teams can sort of understand that that idea is not too outside the realm of possibility, like a team could look at Vancouver and their situation and Pettersson's comments and his unwillingness to sign and his ability to wait until the offseason and be like, yeah, there's like a 1 out of 100 chance that this Matthew Tkachuk thing with Calgary happens again, where the RFA does not want to re-sign and he'll get traded somewhere. That is what we need to prepare for if we're another team that's not Vancouver. Because Matthew Tkachuk, who thought that guy was going to get traded, 1 in 100 chance, but hey, sometimes the 1 is right? Now, you could say for sure, it's a completely different scenario. Matthew Tkachuk in Calgary, you could tell that he didn't like it there. In particular, he wanted to be in America. Elias Pettersson specifically saying that he wants to be on a contender, and whether or not Vancouver's going to be that, who really knows? But we know for sure he likes the city, and the people here like him a lot, and he vibes out with the celebrities. He hangs out with Michael Bublé and BB No Money and all these big-name guys in Vancouver. He's a part of this ecosystem of fame, I guess you could say. That's the best way to put it, right? I don't know. He fits here in Vancouver, but hockey-wise, if there is doubt, which you cannot rule out until the contract is fully signed, if there is doubt, that 1 out of 100 chance, you have to prepare. You have to. And that's why teams are calling about Elias Pettersson. And for Elliotte Friedman to share that and ignite Vancouver Canucks social media ablaze, oh my goodness, Pettersson's not going to stay, he's going to get traded, whatever, I get it, it's just a small headline, but Canucks fans are crazy, and I think we should know this by now. So, Canucks fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the entire Elias Pettersson trade conversation? What Elliotte Friedman brought up in regards to teams calling about the Vancouver Canucks Super Suite. $12 million AAV, let me know your thoughts as to whether or not his next contract will be in that range, and if he does, in some off-putting and distorted parallel world to ours, get traded for something, what do you think the package is for a guy like PD? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.